This week on Fast Car to NASCAR with Mike Wallace, Justin Marks talks about his race team, Trackhouse Racing, and the moment he made the decision to hang up the driver's suit to become a NASCAR winning team owner.
Let's start off with a write-up. Congratulations on that win at COTA. That had to be, I know from my side of watching the sport and being involved in it and knowing you from years ago but not knowing you well, that had to be such an incredible feeling. Man, you're an owner this year and you win out of the box, basically.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how hard these races are to win. And all we've been trying to do for really the last 2 years is just start to lay the foundation, the basic building blocks of building, a race team that can be successful for a long period of time. And so, we're trying to build a race winning company here. And we sort of knew or believed that we would get there. Obviously at some point, but it just, it's just happened so fast. I mean, honestly, the scaling of this company has happened so fast and we're all just sort of trying to keep up with it. So, to finally, I say finally, but we're pretty new, but I mean, to get to the point where we actually got to victory lane, it's it's a great moment. It's a great moment when I just look back and go, this was just an idea that I had. It's just an idea on a piece of paper when I heard that NASCAR was bringing this new car, and to finally get to that point was really pretty special.
So Justin, in regards to, and again, we're going to go back in your career in a little while, but right now, so you, and if I may kind of prelude this to everybody, Justin and I were semi-teammates at one time at Germain Racing. And when I say semi, he ran the Truck Series, I was Xfinity Racing. But, man, you were just a racer at that time. What is the step? I mean, how do you become a car owner in one of the biggest forms of motorsports? What prompts you internally to go, I think it's time for me to do something different from the ownership versus I'm going to get out of the seat? And you were winning races right up to the time you got out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that, I got into this whole thing because I just absolutely fell in love with the sport. And, I was able to go to races early in my life and just realize that this, was something that I wanted to do. And I wanted to experience the highest levels of the sport. And I just got to a point really where, I realized that if I was going to win Daytona 500s or compete for Cup Series championships, I was going to have to do it outside of the car, just because frankly I wasn't good enough. And I started, sort of getting up there in the age where it's like, all right, what are you chasing at this point, right? I was out procuring my own sponsorships and everything and kind of just being a race car driver. And I was always really fascinated in the business side of it. That was always something that was interesting to me. I got a marketing degree in college and, grew up in a very entrepreneurial household, and was able to watch, businesses grow and get started and scale and everything. So I was always really interested in, and I had kind of dabbled in team ownership at a small level while I was driving, obviously with Larson Marks Racing in the World of Outlaws series, and then with Harry Scott in the K&N Pro series. So I'd had some experience, but Cup was always something that the barrier of entry was just so high that it just didn't really ever make any sense to think about starting a Cup team until I heard about this new car. And basically the new car was going to so fundamentally change the economic structure of the sport that I'm like, all right, well, here now you can actually look at a Cup team and think about building a business, because it's not going to just be this sort of black hole of, engineering, research and development, manufacturing and all that. So I saw that as an opportunity for me to really apply the skills that I have to try to do great things in this sport. And so as I just kind of started doing more and more research and met with NASCAR and sort of just making a lot of notes and sort of just looking at the landscape and kind of trying to read the tea leaves a little bit about what the future of the sport looked like, it made more and more sense to make a real effort to come in. So I just sort of built a business plan that was very untraditional in Cup Series history. And, it's basically building a branding and marketing company, now that we don't have to design and build parts anymore and everything. So really it was the car and the fact that the schedule was changing and that existing ownership was aging out. It just seemed like the right moment, the right period in time to push the chips all in and go for it. And so that really kind of prompted me getting out of the seat. I mean, I ran 2 races at the Roval in 2000 and I think it was 19. And I knew on that race weekend it was going to be my last race weekend. And I finished second in the Xfinity race. And in the press conference afterwards, I said, that there is a wave of change coming in this sport, and I really want to. I really want to be on the business side of it and try to build something that's sustainable for a long period of time, and announced my retirement on Monday and leaned fully into this Trackhouse project.
To hear the entire show, visit speedsport.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. Or watch this and other great podcasts at speedsport.tv.